Alrighty, welcome to the wrap up here for Green, Jeskai Construct combo here for Jimmy Jammin Pioneer. And let's discuss the results first. So we went 2-3 in our league, which is bad, is below average. I mean, we won two matches. Our matchups where we beat Blue White Cheerios and Blue Green Ramp, and we lost to Mono Green Stompy, White Black Vampires, and White Black Zombie Rally. Um, so I want to talk about a few things first. The first thing I want to discuss is that the deck felt really wonky, like really weird. So we had like Crackdown Construct and Fling and Wandering Funeral, and what I have to say about it is it really felt like too cute. Like what we're doing is just it's a gimmick. Like it's just like it's a cute combo. Like oh that's cute. Like that's fun. All right, you got me, I guess, kind of thing. And it didn't feel really like super competitive, like a Splinter Twin combo should. Because there's so many pieces involved. Like you have to have Crackdown Construct, and you have to have Fumeral, and you have to have an additional thing to kill them if they don't like unless they just like don't have any blockers and they're dead. But if they have like any blocker, then we need to also have Royal Scions or Fling. And yeah, it just like it felt a little cute, like just a little wonky. Um, but we did win two matches. We beat Blue Green Cheerios, which honestly we probably won game one because we had an Narset. Just shut down his entire deck basically, and then game two he mulliganed to five, and we kind of just like sputtered around until we combo killed him. Then we had a loss against Mono Green Stompy, which was actually pretty close. Just having Supreme Verdict in our deck just made in fires like made our deck just like not the worst. So we did that. We even combo killed him game one. We almost lost game one as well. That didn't feel like the best matchup, but it was close. Then we had a win against the Blue Green Ramp deck. That match just did not feel close. We completely destroyed him. Game one. Game two was a little closer. You had Thought Nuts here, but we verdict those Thought Nuts away, and he just basically had nothing. So that was nice. Then we had an interesting match against White Black Vampires where we got stomped game one, kind of just on the back foot the entire time. Game two, we stole a win where he kind of punted the win away, where we were basically dead, and we had Crackdown Construct and Wandering Funeral and only 4 mana, and we attacked with the Construct at him. He could have fired up a Mutavault and blocked, but he didn't, so we just fired up the Funeral for 4 mana and killed him. And then we get game three. We had the Sorcerer Spyglass, which is over here. Oops. I'm gonna put these right there for a sec, as I forgot to discuss those earlier. But as we had the Sorcerer's Spyglass as a way to shut down the Sorin that he almost certainly had, but he top decked Thoughtseize to take our Sorcerer's Spyglass, and then he put in Bloodburn of Viscopa, and we just lost. So that was rough. Then we had a pretty brutal loss, in my opinion, to White Black Vampire Rally or Zombie Rally. I feel like that's a pretty good matchup for us. We won game one because we wiped his board and Fade for Rest in Peace and kind of just won, which was nice. Game two, we had a very, very good hand, like very strong hand that led on Teferi as a curve and basically had combo kill. But we kept the two-lander, it was on the draw, and part of Magic is variance, and we just got unlucky, didn't draw land. So we got thoroughly crushed that one. And then game three was super unfortunate. We were one turn away from killing him, but he played God Eternal Oketra, and we had to play early in the game where we could have Clarion instead of Supreme Verdicted. But because we casted Clarion, or because we casted Verdict instead of Clarion to be more mana efficient, it ended up costing us the game. So maybe that was probably wrong. Maybe we weren't even supposed to hit the Direglass Colossus that turn where we Wrath. Maybe we were just supposed to cast Drawn from Dreams and try to set up the combo kill. So that game three, there are arguments that we maybe were supposed to win that game, but we didn't. It's fine. But yeah, so those were our matches. 2-3 is pretty upsetting. But like, what? How did the deck feel? I should say. So starting with the combo I already mentioned, it feels a little cute. Like it's okay. It is a way to win the game, but I feel like there's just like one too many pieces involved, and it's just kind of like, all right, well, it's okay, I guess, but it's not really. I didn't have like Crackdown Construct. Like this card on its own is bad. It's a 4 mana 2/2. If you don't have Fumarole, then it's bad. And that we actually ran into that a few times where like we can cast Crackdown Construct this turn and hope to untap with it, but like we're still just dying if we do that because like it's a 2/2, like it's not doing anything. The turn after that, then it's the biggest creature on the board and they can't attack through it, which is really nice. But we have to tap a lot of mana to do that, and like we don't really have any 2 mana interaction, 1 2 mana interaction like Azorius Charm or anything like that because of fires. Makes it way more awkward. But yeah, I mean Narset and Royal Scions both felt fine, and we never actually got the Royal Scions kill, but we had the opportunity to at one point. It just didn't really matter. Teferi felt awesome. Teferi is just an amazingly broken magic card, so that's nice. Clarion was fine. It was very, very good when we cast it, as was Drawn from Dreams. A little awkward when we don't have fires. Jace, we casted like once, I think. He was kind of weird. Sphinx was great. Fires was great. Spring Verdict was great. So another thing I noticed about this deck is that games where we had Fires Invention, the deck felt awesome. Like I don't think we lost a game where we had Fires Invention on the battlefield, but games where we did, I think we even won a game where we won a game or two where we didn't have Fires Invention. But games where we just didn't have fires felt miserable. Like we couldn't do anything. I remember one game we had like triple Drawn from Dreams in our hand. It was just like God, like this is just so awkward. Like we can't do anything. Um, and that's kind of the titular problem with most Fires of Inventions decks is if they don't have the fires, they can't really win. Like they can't really do their thing, and we fall more prey to that than most fires decks, which is pretty unfortunate. Um, but like this deck as a whole, our record doesn't really like reflect how I feel about the deck because like honestly, it kind of does actually. I reflect like because like we should have gone 3-2. We lost two really close matches and we got crushed once. Um, but I think that those matches were only like really close because we had like Supreme Verdict and Clarion on our deck. We're just kind of like also a Jeskai control deck. Um, and yeah, I think that that's a big part of it. The kind of my final thoughts on this deck are if you want to play Fires of Invention and Pioneer, you should probably play the Planeswalker version. I think that version is very good. They just have a lot of good cards. But honestly, that's just the main problem with every Fires deck is if they don't have the Fires, they really just can't do anything. And that's a huge problem with that deck. That's just every Fires deck. It's like the Planeswalker deck I think falls the most prey to that is they just kind of like just cast like a bunch of Planeswalkers, which are good. Like they'll cast like Narset into like Elspeth or Jace, and then they'll cast like Sarkhan, and they have dragons, and like all their cards are just good cards. Um, but when they don't have fires, the deck feels very clunky, and that's exactly how this deck felt, just very clunky without the fires invention. Um, so is this deck good? Yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't bring it to a GP or a Pro Tour or something like that, but if you want to a fun Fires of Invention deck to play at FNM, maybe like you've been wanting to make this combo work, start with this list. I think this is a solid foundation for a Crackdown Construct list. It's just that like I don't really see this deck getting much better because the combo just feels like way too fragile, just way too cute. So it's okay. It was a fun idea. It's a fun deck, but I don't think it's really where you want to be if you're trying to get super competitive. But not the worst. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week's edition of Jimmy Jammin Pioneer. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends, do all that fun jazz. I'm NHA37. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.